healings is because we exist in the past, present, and future. And we can get deep into it when we work one on one. And Alex is a great socialist or a social reformer because he's handpicking different individuals from all walks of life and ones that want them to come together and help the community and help each other. So I love what Alex is doing, and that's why I accepted his offer and decided to be here on this channel. So we came up with the name Gathering of Souls because the COVID, the shutdown, has helped people wake up and ask questions like, who am I? What am I doing here? And some people have woken up from their deep slumber and they're looking for answers. So I am here to help with that. I am here to help you connect you with your spiritual self, your higher self, your creator, how to channel, how to develop your gifts, your intuition, your telepathy, or any other gifts like clairvoyance, clairaudient, and other clairs. And yes, I'm talking here to myself with this camera on, and it's a little bit weird because I don't see you guys. I don't see anybody talking or asking questions. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult for me to just keep talking and rattling all this information out. I'm on Instagram. Look me up with the Instagram ID bearheart9. That might give you a little bit of idea of who I am. I'm an artist, a designer, and a facilitator of energy healings. So why are we doing this? To help people, to help community, help people rise above and understand themselves and connect with themselves and their community and understand their purpose to be here alive in this very time and moment on this planet. So being here today is a great privilege and opportunity to tell people why they should be coming to Urge. Listen to me, Natty, or any other guests that Alex has invited so that we are like little pieces of puzzle. Each piece of puzzle has something to offer, and all of us connect together to deliver something very powerful, something very tangible, something that we all can use and work with and learn from each other. And back in the day when the world was not so crazy with these corporations and all that, it was the network of people. It was the village that raised a child, an individual, and took care of it. So this is an attempt to revive those ways. I know it's digital, it's electronic, but then the wisdom is there, the essence is there, and that can be used to create that village. I would say let's make this whole world our village and connect, create, and co-create. Thank you. All right, I'm back. So, mostly the question that I get, as I have been practicing my craft for the last 20 some years. So, the world has three common problems: love, money, health. But you know how all three problems come into the physical form or become the physical reality? Because we're disconnected with ourselves. We don't listen to our own inner voice, and we just follow the trend, peer pressure, or we just want to go do something to satisfy an ego, a pattern, a trend. I would say step back, breathe, and assess. And when you're assessing your situation, acknowledge whatever that little voice in your head was telling you, that, hey, it's time to look for another job. It's time to quit. Listen to that voice and find a better prospect. Remember when you were going for the first date with that person and you didn't like that person, but you just went anyways? Or the little voice in your head said, no, we don't like this person. And then you just ignored it and you just went for whatever reason, because you didn't want to be alone. You just wanted to bring a friend to a party. You wanted to bring a plus one to something. And then ignoring that little voice backfired. So all of the people who are struggling, especially with the romantic relationships, step back. Go back in time when it all started. And the things, the red flags that got ignored in the excitement or whatnot, go back and assess, reevaluate before allowing that broken heart, the victim sort of setting. And once you're reassessing, ask yourself a question: is this the best for me? Or there is something better for me that will help me grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually, professionally? Somebody who will push me to be the better version of me? Ask yourself a question. You really don't need a healer or a magic spell for that. You just need you to be present and involved in your own life. And if you need counseling, definitely look for a life coach, a counselor. And I do offer spiritual counseling sessions, couples counseling sessions also. And if this relationship is to be, it is to be. And if it is not to be, then at least part ways on a good note, that down the road, if you meet with each other, you're able to say hello with a smile. That's the whole goal: to be kind, compassionate, and understanding, not imposing. You know, um, love is very tricky, and the wisdom comes with the age. That's what I'm gonna say on this one. And when it comes to money, most people who think for themselves and are creating plans, how I'm gonna get this, how I'm gonna get there, who's gonna do this for me, they always have everything working in order for them. And the people who are givers, um, who would even give away the last dollar in their pocket to help someone, they don't have anything. They are just surviving by God's grace, because God cares for them, or the creator, creatrix cares for them, and somehow their good karma keeps them afloat. But deep down, they want a better life. They want that luxury. But then we got to learn from the people in the system who are looking out for themselves. And they're not bad guys. Looking out for yourself, for your interest, is recommended, because you're not betraying yourself. If you have a stronger, solid foundation, you can take care of yourself better. And then whatever is overflowing, you are able to share. Imagine that if your resources multiply many folds, because you are paying attention to your dreams, to your goals, to your aspirations, and the result is you are affluent in your material wealth. But then when you have that, you're creating jobs, you're creating so many things. And if you have surplus, you can create scholarships, apprenticeship programs for the people. So just look at things in a methodical, analytical way, that how I am going to benefit myself, my own life, and the people around me. That is the concept of co-creation. So first you have to create with yourself, that who am I and what kind of life I want. Create a vision board, a chart, a plan, a circle, whatever it is you want to do, just put it on the paper and break it down into small pieces and start working with it and see where it takes you. And like we say, draw a line in the sand. Nothing is set in stone. Learn, adapt, and keep going. And if you have any questions, definitely post those questions towards me. And then when you talk about trauma healing, so what exactly is trauma healing? Even the science says that whenever somebody goes through sort of, not, I should not say sort of, goes through a traumatic experience, be it physical, mental, emotional, or all of the above, the memory is stored in the body cells. And yeah, cells die, but then the trace of the memory is left, just like our DNA carries the information from our ancestors, our genetic code, that what background we come from. Our DNA can tell all that. And people must have heard the stories. Those lots of stories are out there that if somebody received an organ transplant, they started acting like the other person. Like they started smoking, they started doing weird things because of the cell memory. Um, so coming back to trauma healing, that memory is stored in the cells, and that's how the PTSD gets triggered when the same situation, sounds, noises are created, the stimulation happens, and the people go back in it. So I do help facilitate rewiring the brain, the neurostructure. I know I am not a neurosurgeon, but then brain is fascinating, and how it responds to different energies is another whole amazing world. So we have right lobe and left lobe, right? And each lobe is responsible for different actions in the body, different systems, different tasks, chores in the body. And each organ system has its own nervous system. It's called meridians. So what I do is I manipulate the energy in the left right lobes and the meridians corresponding to a certain organ system or organ, and help deprogram that trauma out of the body, out of the cellular memory, so that the individual can have a clean slate and they can get going with their life. It's exciting to see people coming and progressing and watching the stars come back in their eyes and their skin glowing. Ah, that's the most beautiful time when I have a client who says, "Wow, I feel light. I've never felt like this in years." That's the best gift that as a therapist, as a healer, I get. Of course, I do charge a fee also, because I got to keep lights on in my territory, right? Um, I am, and I do teach classes, um, do Reiki attunements, violet fire attunements. If you are interested in learning Reiki, I'm happy to teach you. I choose to teach these classes in person because that experience is phenomenal, and it's never going to go out of your memory. You're going to create a network of fellow light workers when you come to a class in person, because it's not just you, it's your entire being, it's your ancestors, your guardian angels, and the people who came before you. So it's a whole new community that an individual creates when they come to a class in person and get their attunements. So would love to teach more classes on Reiki attunements, more classes on violet fire attunements, so that anything and everything can be alchemized and transformed into something positive, something valuable to support life, to help heal this planet. And the current things that we're hearing, I understand people are on different frequencies, different realities, all of the above. But if you're listening to this talk show, you're tuned into with urge, then I'm sure you're awake, not woke, awake and aware, and you're present in your body, and your soul is wanting to explore and wanting to grow and change. So considering that, we are on different levels, and I'm sure the viewers have certain gifts as well that they may or may not be aware of. So I'm happy to help you explore your gifts and coming back to the current reality of life. I'm sure flower of life is a known geometrical pattern, but that has the code of life. That code connects with the ethers. They call it plasma also. Plasma or ether is all around us. So when you're happy dancing in nature, you'll be able to see. If any one of you want to go outside in sunlight and want to do an experiment, that stare into just white light, the sunlight, sitting in your office, gazing out through the window or actually outside, you will see tiny little bubbles floating, sometimes just an individual, sometimes a pattern. What is that? That's ether, that's plasma. And some call it light codes as well. So if you're able to see it, that means you're gifted and you're a clairvoyant. And you have a whole lot of dimensions to explore. We talk about 3D, 4D, 5D, and above. But all these dimensions are talked about in Indian Puranas and Vedas. Growing up as a kid, I was taught that this planet is a stimulation to help you get ready for the next level. And this is the only planet where we exist in this dense matter form, material form. And this is the only planet where you get to feel the emotions. And your challenge in this lifetime, being alive on this planet, is to master your emotions. Because if you are the master of your emotions, nobody can manipulate you or bend you against your will. You will become invincible. But how hard it is! It's really tough to master your emotions, right? Especially the anger, the rage that we feel, or jealousy. The first challenge is to acknowledge them and then turn these emotions into your power tools. Anger is not bad, because if somebody's experiencing anger, that means there is something wrong in the system and that needs to be corrected. So definitely honor your anger. That thank you for coming and showing me what it is. But then go back to your structured organizing and processing brain, that how do we correct the situation? What are the resources available? What can we do about it? Start writing, start journaling, and keep doing it till you have a tangible solution that is productive, not destructive. Because destroying things is easy, creating things is a difficult task. And always have something in mind, that what is the outcome I want out of this situation. And because we're angry, we're like a soda bottle that got shaken up. Nothing makes sense. You're in flight and fight mode. The fire is too strong. So definitely things are not going to make sense. But in that moment, what you can do is connect with your breath. Go outside, walk in nature, take a cold bath or shower. I don't recommend cold plunges for women, because women's anatomy is different than the masculine. A cold face wash is okay, but don't recommend cold plunges for the ladies for all the good reasons. So taking a nice aromatic bath, a walk in the nature, or a run, or a dance, or do nothing. Turn off your phone and take a nap if you can. Because reactions cause more problems. Actions help save the day. Always remember that. So, coming back to the anger, that we need to acknowledge it. Once we acknowledge it, the fire calms down. Then, connection with the breath helps you come back within your body. And then you can activate a sacred command that I wish for the highest outcome for this situation, or I ask for the highest outcome for myself out of this situation. You're activating this command with your self, your higher self, your ancestors, your guardian angels, that I want the best for myself. And this way, you're not asking for anything bad to happen to somebody out there. Karma, energy. Karma is energy. Whatever you're projecting, it's going to come back to you. So if there is a bad situation and we wish something bad for that person, guess what? It's coming to you also. So don't do it. Ask for the highest outcome for yourself. That way you're eliminating all the negative emotions and projection of any negativity out there. And when we start saying these things, we are activating the concept of positive interaction with our system. And now I have a question. How often do I would be hosting this show? Twice a month, every 2 weeks. And what exactly are you into and how it can benefit? What I'm exactly into is learning and understanding what it is like to be a human being with all these emotions. Or you can say I'm following the spiritual path, the original path that ancestors all over the globe, those old tribes from the old world, the medicine man, medicine woman, the shamans. And when we go to India, the Sanatan Dharma, I am into that. I am into old ways, because old ways are the lifelines to ourselves, to our community, and to the planet. Yes, aliens are real. Extraterrestrial beings, just like there's good and bad, there are benevolent beings and malevolent beings. So whenever you're wanting to work and experience the beings from the other galaxies, always invite the benevolent beings. There are Andromedians, Arcturians, Pleiadians. My first introduction was to the Pleiadians. Then I have met Andromedians. I don't have a memory of being on a ship, but I have seen plenty of those ships. I'm waiting for the day that I remember being on that ship. And I don't know, on Netflix there is a TV show called Resident Alien. Some of the things that Alien is doing, like his ship, that he can convert his ship into a small little box, little tiny balls. He don't have an engine in his ship. He can fly it with his mind. Those things are real. So they have definitely taken those concepts from the actual alien lifestyle and technology and put it in the show, that they can shapeshift and they can look like anything they choose to. But not all of them can do that. All civilizations can't do that, but most of them can. Yes. It is okay. There is a guy named Richard Gere. He started the CE5 contact group. And I am a part of the CE5 contact group from Kansas City. So we would gather in a circle, start with gratitude, some chanting. You can raise the frequency just by chanting the English vowels A, E, I, O, U. Open your throat and your heart, just the 5 vowels from the English Roman letters A, E, I, O, U. And if you want to do this, with your breath, scan yourself and feel the energy around you. And once you have started chanting, so say you've chanted A for 5 times, E for 5 times, and so on, and then check your energy, the vibration in your hands, and imagine a group of people, 20, 30, 40 people doing that. Imagine the energy you're going to create at that time. And then we would invite in, and we have experienced those crafts, display of crafts. And one time I said, if you guys are really here, I want to see green lights coming out of your crafts. It really happened. So yes, all of it is real, because the people in power don't understand all of it themselves. They themselves are scared of it, or they themselves don't want that knowledge to be made universal. They have kept it hidden for all the good reasons, and have done fear mongering. All benevolent beings are not bad. And if you look at the Indian culture, I would not call it a mythology. It is not a myth. These are facts. If you go explore those temples online, in person, Nagas are real, the snake people. And we call it Naglok. Lok means the world. So Nag means not the regular snake, the hooded snake. And there are stories out there of Nagas connecting with people and creating hybrids as well. So they are all real, and they're good guys. They're not bad guys. Just because they're Nagas does not make them bad. No, it's a wrong negative propaganda. Reptilians are real, but those are not Nagas. Dragons are real. Dragons are the good guys, but Christianity made them look bad. I channel dragons. I started channeling dragons back in 2010 after my Reiki 2 initiation or attunement. And one night I was just jamming onto my radio and painting, and I had a little bit of wine, and I see a big giant dragon eye, the slit in the eye, and I thought, this wine is getting to me. I need to slow down or something. But then it kept happening. When I'm at work, I'm driving, and I said, okay, fine, I'm ready to meet you. So that's when I really met my first dragon, and they have given me the ability to open portals. I can open portals on a canvas, in a place, anywhere, and connect a person with their dragon. So yes, I'm here. One of my gifts is to help dragons connect, or people connect with their dragon guides. So that's what I facilitate as well through my intuitive paintings. They existed all over the planet, all over this multiverse. It's not a universe, it's a multiverse. And they are in the higher dimensions, going from 6 dimensions and upwards. There are wise dragons, there are elemental dragons, there are earth dragons. And you know, back in the day when there were druids and Celts, back in the time, fairies were here in real, in person. And there are some museums in England, I believe, you can see their mummies in a museum. I'm not sure you can find where. Yes, you have to be connected with a dragon guide. You have to have a connection, and if you've never had a connection with a dragon, you should be on a very high spiritual plane to connect, because the earthly energies are so dense. But when we grow spiritually, when we evolve, the denseness goes away. And when I talk about denseness goes away, the basic emotions, I know I'm not trying to minimize emotions, but the emotions like jealousy, hate, anger, frustration, they consume you so much and keep you so low in the vibration. But once we're free with love, with gratitude, we are higher, we are lighter. And when we are lighter, we are able to connect with the beings on the higher dimensions. I hope it answers your question, big PM. Um, what are the requirements of people to join you live next time? Bring an open mind. I don't know, Alex, if you have this podcast or live show requires a membership or not. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that. So Alex is the right person to ask this question. But for me, the requirement is bring yourself, your open heart, open mind, a notebook, a pen, or something to take notes with, so that you can go over it, ponder over it other day, next time, or whenever you choose to. What am I interested in talking about? Man, I've been around forever. I can talk about anything. Give me ideas and I'll talk about it. Um, but deep down, as a teacher, as a facilitator, what I want to talk about is people, their habits, their emotions, and what they do, why they do, so that they can understand whatever it is they're doing. Is it worth changing? Is it worth trying a different approach towards life, people in general, in their everyday life? Because in everyday life, if we practice gratitude, love, and compassion, the world will be a better place. I recently read a story that there was a guy who committed suicide by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge in California, the Golden Bridge. He wrote a note that if anybody will give me a smile, I won't do it. And from his home to that bridge, he walked. Nobody smiled at him. So these incidents are very, very sad, but they're an example that be kind to yourself and to the people. When you're stepping out of the house, regardless what happened, take the best version of you outside, because you don't know whose life you're going to change, whose day you're going to make. And if that acknowledgement didn't come to you, oh well, you lived the best day because you had fun. Are you open to talking about similarities between your beliefs and Christianity? Sure. I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. Christianity is a complicated subject, more of a political concept to control people, mind control people, and keep them indoctrinated, keep them enslaved to the machine. So, to us, Jesus is a great teacher. We consider him a Messiah, a beautiful being. So, yes, I am happy to talk about Jesus, what I know and understand about him outside the books and the religion boundaries. Do I think all religions are real? Well, religions are all man made. So they're as real as a man made structure. I hope it answers your question. What other questions? Okay. Let me go back up and see if I've covered all the questions. Hello, Gig Stagger from Urge Africa. New comment. All right. No, I'm not Jewish. Do you think diabolism is linked to dragon? I have no clue what diabolism is. You'll have to tell me what that is. Um, Thank you, David. No, I'm not Jewish. I'm 100% Indian, East Indian, Bharat. So, do you guys have any more questions for me, or should I keep rambling about stuff, life, and things, whatever pops in my head? Witchcraft. Well, witchcraft is a term invented by Christianity. So it is a thing in the Christian world. And if you notice, when all the midwives and wise women who knew the herbs, who knew things, were killed during those witch hunting times, then the world was struck by great plagues because there was nobody to save them. So, if you want my real opinion, take it with a grain of salt. It's not even an opinion, it's my research of lifetime. If you really want to understand, we all were created in the image of our creator, which is debatable because philosophy, debate, and free speech is everywhere. That's why I'm saying take it with a grain of salt. This nature, the earth planet itself, has magnetic energy. When we walk bare feet on the planet, it heals and charges us. Whenever we're building a home or a structure or a building, there is always grounding done for that building. Why? Simple physics. So, the things that I do or facilitate or practice are really not witchcraft. It's a science. And this Western world has bastardized the old world ways. Because they didn't understand it, they were scary. Because whenever we don't understand something, we just label it whatever we want to label it out of our ego. So all the old ways got tabooed. If you want to explore the world, look up Tartaria. Tartaria was real. Those glass houses were real, because if you have a glass house and you're playing certain sounds, they can help you heal. All the bells were taken away, but in India we still have the bells in our temples because it's India. We don't believe what Westerners are trying to tell us. We believe in our Sanatan Dharma, our culture that has been around for thousands and thousands of years. And if you don't believe me, find a bell, a brass bell, and hang it in your home. And whenever you're feeling sad, depressed, just ring that bell and let it radiate that healing sound. And then assess your body, how you're feeling. The sound healing is phenomenal, and it has existed for thousands of years. When the world did not know aircrafts, we had vimanas that were flying with quartz crystal and mercury and some gold. So it's science. So somebody who understands spirituality and elements and understands alchemy, and somebody who comes to them and says witchcraft, like, we just laugh at them like, ah, you ignorant. So scratch that word off your dictionary and become more of a alchemist, a scientific being who is connected with the planet, the earth. My philosophy in life is live and let live. Very simple, very tough to do, but if you're able to do, you're golden. Do you think miracles are real? Yes, they are very real. For example, one time I was driving a car on a clover leaf, And I was a very young person at that time. So when you're young, you want everything to move fast, right? So my car decides to go like a tangent, parabola. Started flying off the clover, and it was like a kangaroo. Dup, dup, dup. And I'm like, what are we gonna do? No idea, no experience. It was my first time in a flying car like that. So, and the car, the physics, everything is working. But guess what? It was a Ford, so the oil stopped, so that my car don't explode. And it got on the shoulder, not in the middle of oncoming traffic or anything, shoulder. And I'm like nervous, scared. I'm late. What I'm gonna do? My car won't start. Thank God, nothing is broken. Then a lady shows up in the middle of nowhere. She drops me to a mechanic shop, and the mechanic pushes the button. My car gets turned on. So it is a miracle that I'm alive. My car didn't explode, and I had all the help. And if this does not sound like a miracle, then one time, a new driver on a snow day. It was my first time driving in snow, actually, really. Um, and I'm going without any clue in my brain that slow down, you're going down the ramp. And I'm hitting my brakes. Brakes are not working because it's ice on the road. And all of a sudden, my car decides to take a U turn. I didn't do it. I'm like, stop, stop. But they did. It took a U turn. That day, not only my life got saved, God knows how many other lives got saved, because it was my car is going like this and there is a traffic going like this. I don't even know how many lives got saved that day, whose angel was watching all over us. So yes, miracles do happen. Believe in them. It's 12:58 p.m. So I would love to know what you guys think. If you want to come back to my show, want to talk to me, ask your questions, or learn about things, just throw the topics in there, and I would love to see all of you again. Have a great day and a great, great Sunday afternoon, and a great week. Do I think mermaids really exist? Okay, I'll take this question.